service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC News and Jib Jab Greetings. I'm Bud Lowell. Full AccuWeather forecast is across the top of every CNC local news page. State Attorney General Eric Schneiderman filed a brief with the U.S. Supreme Court Tuesday morning on behalf of 10 states and 5 cities, urging the court to uphold the EPA's transport rule. The Environmental Protection Agency set those rules in 2011 after years of wrangling. They force reductions in the amount of pollution states are allowed to put into the air that drifts over state lines. They were aimed at big Midwestern and Western power plants whose large-scale emissions of sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide, and soot get carried hundreds of miles by the prevailing winds. They cause acid rain in New York and other eastern states. They also make it hard for those states to meet air quality regulations. The law requires plants to cut emissions crossing state lines by more than half. The D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals overturned the rules in December of 2011 after opponents went to court. The Supreme Court is now being asked to reinstate the rule. Schneiderman says the out-of-state pollution causes 2,000 New Yorkers to die prematurely every year. Connecticut, Delaware, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, North Carolina, Rhode Island, Vermont, and the District of Columbia are joining New York in the brief. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police arrested 2 men Monday in connection with a plot to derail a passenger train as it crossed the Whirlpool Bridge from southern Ontario into New York. The Toronto Globe and Mail says an RCMP official told a news conference the men were 30-year-old Chiheb Essegayer from Montreal and 35-year-old Raid Jasser of Toronto. They were receiving support from elements of al-Qaeda based in Iran. The 2 men were arrested on a tip from the Muslim community in Toronto. Neither is a Canadian citizen, and the Mounties weren't providing much more information. RCMP did say it had been watching these men since last August, and they never got near to carrying out their plan. The paper learned from other sources that the men had been scouting the Toronto to New York City train that runs via Niagara Falls, Buffalo, and Rochester. It's handled jointly by Amtrak and Canada's Via Rail. By the way, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security wants to start charging Canadian motorists $5.50 to enter the United States, just as it already does passengers arriving by air and by sea. They say the money is needed to cover increasing border security costs. Western New York officials don't like the idea. They worry it might mean fewer Canadians crossing the border. Thousands of Canadians do every year and spend millions in Buffalo and Rochester. New York State puts considerable effort into attracting them here each year. U.S. citizens currently pay a fee to enter Canada, and by agreement, that money is split by the U.S. and Canada for border security. An attempt to keep Lakeside Hospital in Brockport at least partly open has failed. Lakeside Health System has already begun the process of closing Lakeside Hospital. Lakeside decided earlier this year it could no longer afford to function as an inpatient hospital, but in March officials decided they'd try to keep at least the emergency department open to provide more service to the western side of Monroe County. But Monday, Lakeside Health System's board chair Nancy Plews said the effort had collapsed. The state concluded it could not provide the necessary funding. She called it a tremendously sad day for the entire community. The hospital has already stopped accepting inpatient admissions. The emergency department closes its doors as of 2 o'clock Friday afternoon. All remaining Lakeside patients will be transferred out of the hospital on Saturday, and on Tuesday, all remaining parts of the hospital will shut down. Decisions on the future of Lakeside's 2 primary care practices, the urgent care in Spencerport and the Bykirk Care Center, will be made within the next month. Lakeside officials say they are working with the state health department to make sure patients continue to receive good care during the transition. The City of Rochester says extra security will be in evidence at the Flower City Challenge this coming weekend. The event Saturday and Sunday includes a triathlon on and along the Genesee River and a 5K race on Saturday. Also, the Unity Health System's half marathon on Sunday. Nearly 4,000 athletes from a number of states and countries plan to be here. Mayor Tom Richards held a news conference Monday to say the city has developed an enhanced security plan following last week's Boston Marathon bombings. The mayor also encouraged the public to be vigilant and report anything that doesn't look right during the event. Today's the day Irondequoit voters decide if the town builds a new central library at the Town Hall campus on Titus Avenue. Polls are open until 9 p.m. Residents of the West Irondequoit School District vote at the St. Paul Fire Department on Cooper Road. East Irondequoit, you vote at the Ridge Culver Fire Department on Culver. The plan is to replace the 2 branch libraries with 1 central library. It'll be a 60,000 square foot building with meeting rooms and other amenities at a cost of $13 million. And supporters say that's cheaper than trying to expand the existing buildings. It also provides room for the future. Rochester police are investigating the death of a man stabbed early this morning in Durand Eastman Park. Several people had gathered for a bonfire at Durand Eastman Beach off Lakeshore Boulevard Monday night and into Tuesday morning, and it was there that the 20-year-old city man was stabbed repeatedly about 1 o'clock Tuesday morning. Friends drove him to Rochester General Hospital, and he was later pronounced dead there. The police investigation went through the night and is continuing. They're asking anyone with information to call 911. In Livingston County, sheriff's deputies have arrested 2 men for the Easter Sunday shooting of a man in the town of York. The sheriff's office says the shooting was drug-related. They've not released the name of the 27-year-old victim. Deputies arrested 34-year-old Brandon Campbell of York and 23-year-old Thomas Boyd of Rochester. Boyd is charged with first-degree assault, Campbell with attempted robbery. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says deputies arrested a Michigan trucker in the town of Chili after they found him holding a woman in his truck against her will. Dale Hutchins of Northville, Michigan, was found in his 18-wheeler with a 22-year-old Illinois woman he reportedly met online. They were on the lookout for the 41-year-old trucker and the woman because she had been reported missing. Investigators say he threatened her and forced her into having sex. Hutchins was charged with unlawful imprisonment, menacing, criminal sexual act, and criminal possession of a weapon, and he is being held in the Monroe County Jail. And state police say a city man crashed his car on the inner loop, then took off on foot and left a 1-year-old child strapped in the car seat. Troopers say they charged Webster Belker with reckless endangerment and endangering the welfare of a child after arriving to find the wrecked car near Joseph Avenue, the child in the back, and no driver. They tracked Belker down and arrested him. He's being held in the Monroe County Jail. The child was checked out at Rochester General and was okay, and at least he used a car seat. Links to these and other stories are found on the left of the player window on your CNC news pages. At the bottom of the page are links you can use to post news and information directly to us. Share that great cell phone video you've caught of breaking news with us. The next news is as it happens. The updates are as necessary. And I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.
Brian Petrie of Skytop LLC, he figures many companies and services could use an airborne camera, but they probably won't want to buy and learn to fly their own, so there's his business opportunity. As the Western New York Flash gets ready to play its home opener on Saturday, hometown favorite Abby Wambach is testing for a possible concussion. Wambach was hit in the face by a free kick from teammate Brittany Taylor during a match Saturday against the Washington Spirit. She stayed in, set up a goal with a header to Samantha Carr. The game ended in a 1-1 tie. Wambach went to her knees when the final horn sounded. Wambach got a medical check but rode home on the team bus. To the left of the player window are links to these and other stories. At the bottom of the page, links you can use to post news and information directly to us. Share that great cell phone video that you've captured. The next news is as it happens. Updates are as necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.